Greetings. Well, frequently I have had a question. When's the right time to plant tomatoes? Depends on whether you're here in Hawaii or whether you're in Duluth, Minnesota, or where you are. But in general, you could mark this by what we call the frost-free date or the last frost date. And so the best time to plant a tomato for most of us is about 2 weeks after the last expected frost. And so if you're frost here in zone 5, your last frost might be May 15th, for instance, then planting on the 1st of June is an excellent time. You'll definitely clear all the foul weather and you won't have any problems with freezing off if you do that. Now, if you want to get an earlier crop and you want to push things a little bit, then you can use hot caps or covers of some sort or another over the plants, and you can put them in right around the last expected frost date, maybe a week or so ahead. Don't go too early because frost or no frost, the ground's still cold. The plants will suffer if it's too cold in the soil. What I usually do when I was living in the mainland, whether it was California or Wisconsin, Illinois, I just wait till I saw the first tomato seedlings pop up in my garden from the rotted tomatoes from last year. As soon as the tomato seedlings start coming up on their own, you know the soil is warm enough to raise tomatoes. And so that is probably one of the best indicators you have. The tomato itself will tell you. And so that works out fine. Here in Hawaii, though, well, tomato seeds come up 12 months out of the year, so that isn't really going to work well. Here, I wait until I see signs of active growth on last year's tomato vines that overwintered, and wait till I see some flowers starting to come. So right here, you can see this is last year's tomato vine in a planter, and it's starting to bloom, and it's making some nice new leaves. And so it's definitely warm enough in the air for growing tomatoes. Right here, I have a tomato that's up against the south wall of the shed. And because of the south wall, it's a little warmer over here, and so we actually already have tomatoes on this vine. So I have concluded that it must be time to plant tomatoes. I had noticed that under this row of papayas here, that I had some beautiful chili peppers left from last year. There seemed to be an affinity between the papayas and the chilies, and so I decided to try interplanting tomatoes with papayas here, see if they are companions perhaps. We'll find out how well this works, but you can see how beautifully, wonderfully green these are from last year. This Hawaiian chili pepper here is just stunning. They seem to really like growing with the papayas, so let's give it a try. It'll keep them out of my walk row over here too. So right up over here, this little guy is N63 from the University of Hawaii. It is a tomato that is large fruited, which is rare to have a large fruited tomato that will produce around here. It does pretty well. That's not a bad fruit. It's got a green shoulder. Other than that, I give it pretty good marks. This right over here is Juliet. And Juliet is a really, really class cherry tomato. Very standard, but just very productive, disease resistant. Down there past Juliet at the end of the row, those little guys are Valentine. Valentine is an olive tomato. It's a wonderful tasting tomato. This is really a fabulous tomato. And then otherwise I've been into the cabbage, the broccoli, and the sweet onions over there. I've been mulching all last year's old beat up pepper plants with cardboard. Pruning back the passion vines off of my blackberries. Things are looking organized. The corn's coming along. So I've been actively planting, and I have a whole nursery full of vegetable plants here. If there's anybody interested, we got some real nice ahi dulce pepper. We got the Hawaiian cocktail pepper. I got cabbage plants in 6-packs, broccoli plants, kale, lettuce, cosmos, marigolds. Yes, sirree. We got the kabocha pumpkin here. I got some more Juliet tomatoes right there. The melon berries, culantro, tree tomato. There's Valentine tomato on the end there. Pigeon peas, Roselle, the fruiting hibiscus, and so on and so forth. So, If you're anywhere, probably from St. Louis and south, it's time to get those tomatoes in the ground. If you're in Chicago and north, you'd be waiting at least a month. If you're up there in Wisconsin, you'd probably be waiting until June. But it's definitely time to start thinking about it. And if nothing else, you can do some planning. Now, I was shocked, though, when I went to several of the seed companies that I usually do business with. I not only found that while they had closed temporarily for the COVID-19, that I sort of suspected. Although I actually consider seed companies to be some pretty important business myself. But whatever, they're mostly closed. And they're also mostly sold out. I was surprised. I'm a little late this year. My health hadn't been good, and so I hadn't gathered my seeds in January like usual. I tell you, a lot of stuff I would have bought, it's already gone. So if you don't have your seeds, then this is definitely a time to get out and start looking for them. You may find a few seed houses that will ship. Also, the rack at your local store has probably still got some seeds left on it. Good place to search. Anyway, folks, aloha and stay well.